Hi everyone. Oops, camera wobble, sorry about that. So today I'm going to show you how to apply your vinyl decals that I've been doing as a free gift in my Glows Crafts group. Now what you'll find in your kit is you will have your sheet that has your design, and you will also find that you have a piece of what's called contact paper. Now what you do is you take an old store card or a credit card, you put your contact paper on top, try not to get any air bubbles, and then what you do is you go like that and you smooth it on, and again you're trying to get no air bubbles. So you go over your design like that, and you'll start to see it kind of goes white and grainy. So what to do is just pull it back and test that the vinyl is coming off onto your contact sheet. It seems to be coming off quite smoothly there, which is good. If it isn't coming off smoothly, what you do is you use your card again and you just rub. So this one's coming off quite smoothly. There we go. Now this is a multiple layer design, so what I've done is I've put little squares which help as a registration mark so that I can get things in a straight line. Now, so if you take your piece of paper and you bow it slightly like that, you'll get less air bubbles. I've also put some sticky tape on where my design, where my registration marks are, because I don't want them to stick on the paper. This is the first time I've done this on camera, and it's kind of in the way. Right, so bear with me. Right, so we'll go there. Right, that looks about right. So I'm just using my hands at first, just rubbing with my fingers. And again, I'm doing a bit at a time, and I'm working my way across so that I don't get any air bubbles. Don't press very hard, I'm just pressing lightly just now. You only press harder when you're sure that you're happy with your design. You can, yeah, the position's okay. You can also slightly adjust if you haven't put a lot of pressure on it. There we go. So I'm just going to keep going and check that my bit of tape is in line with my test area marks. There we go. Let's see how we're going here. I'm just going to move that up slightly. I had put tape in the position, but it's not in the exact position that I had it before. That's going to be okay. The reason why I've put bits of masking tape on is because I'm using permanent vinyl. So if I put it on, put these registration marks on, I won't be able to get them back off. So using masking tape helps with that. Right, so I've got my design in place and it's looking quite good with hopefully no air bubbles. So now I take my card and I take each letter and I burnish it. And I'm going from the middle of the letter and working my way out. I'm doing one letter at a time. And again, I'm just burnishing and just working my way across. If you do find at the end, when you've taken your contact paper off, if you do find there's a little air bubble, sometimes you can use your finger and just ease the air bubble out. If you can't, a way of getting around having the air bubble is to take a little pin, little sewing pin, and just pierce it very gently and squeeze the air out. So that is another way if that happens. Don't worry if that happens. It's a thing that comes with practice. The more application of vinyl you do, the easier it gets. But it's not that hard, to be honest. Okay, so that's looking quite good. And you can see there's almost like a white halo around that. So that's a good sign that we've got it nicely burnished. Okay, so what we do now is we start to peel this off. And, right, okay, I've burnished that one. Just make sure I've burnished my squares. Right, so the idea is that when you peel this off, the design is left actually on your vase or your glass or whatever you're putting it on. There we go, you can see, I'll move this down a little bit, so you'll be able to see it happening now. And if it just wants to stay on the contact paper, just give it a little rub. And you could even put your nail like that. I think it's not liking the texture of the actual masking tape. Because it is, if you see there, it is actually sticking to the glass quite well. So all you do is you peel it off slowly, a bit at a time, and you can do like a kind of rocking motion. Now, what I would recommend when you're putting it on a glass or a plastic vase, etc., that what you do is you wash it beforehand, either with hot soapy water and rinse and dry with a lint-free cloth, or you can use rubbing alcohol as well. There we go. That's it. Right, so that's the first layer done of my design. Okay, so the next one, I've done a little bit of prep. I have already burnished this, but I'll give it another rub just to make sure. And again, I've put in a registration mark to kind of help me. So what I'm doing here is I'm peeling this back here. As I say, it's trial and error. There we go. If it doesn't come off, you can bend it. There we go. Right, the lettering. See how it's coming off there. See, just now it's still on the white backing paper. So you just go like that and rub it. And keep going. Just do it a letter at a time. You'll get to know from experience how much pressure you need to actually put on this. And the contact paper, it can be used a few times. And you'll find there's different contact papers if you go to the shop to buy them. You're wanting the stuff that does not say iron on. The iron on stuff is for t-shirts, etc. Right, I'm going to go in this direction now. As I say, it can take a little time, but yeah, it does have to be burnished quite hard. I've obviously not burnished it enough before I started the video. Right, see how this is not coming up? See if I bend it like that. This is a wee tip. Bend it like that, it's going to go on there. It's being awkward to do because I'm not doing a live video, isn't it? There we go. Right. Okay, so that's me back and I've cut it out. What had happened there was when the cutting machine was cutting the vinyl, it's supposed to do a kiss cut. But because of the thickness of this vinyl compared to the other ones, what happened was it cut a little bit into the backing paper, which is why I had that issue. So now I use the registration mark there to match it here. Wasn't it perfect? Right, I just want to check that it's not going to go over any of the letters. There we go. Right, so again, it's going to burnish with my fingers and then I'll use the card. Sorry for the shaking camera. So I'm just going to burnish it. There we go. And these letters are a little bit higgledy-piggledy. It seems to be part of the design. Okay, let's have a look and see how this is. There we go, and that's coming off quite nicely. So you can see it was just the backing paper was cut into a little bit. Because the idea is when you're using the machines, you shouldn't be cutting into the paper, but